Visas, electronic travel authorizations, passport validity. These are just some things to consider and think about in research when planning a vacation. As you can see, we are here on Paradise Island at the Atlantis Resort. We have spent 3 nights here for a beautiful weekend, but that was not the only reason we came here to enjoy ourselves. We actually had to come to Nassau to go to the U.S. Embassy for visa interviews to apply for tourist visas. We actually live in the Bahamas, and living in the Bahamas means that we need U.S. tourist visas to travel to the United States of America. Every 5 to 10 years we have to apply, and it was time to apply for 4 of my family members, including myself. So we decided to make a weekend of it and come down to Atlantis and spend a few beautiful days here. Definitely stick around, because towards the end of this video I will be sharing our experience with the U.S. Embassy here in Nassau. But for now, I'd like to talk to you about a few things that may be necessary for you to travel. One of the things is that you may need a visa depending on your country of citizenship. Depending on your passport, you may actually need to apply for a visa to travel to certain destinations. For visa-exempt travelers, a lot of countries now have something called an electronic travel authorization, ETA. Some of the countries that already have implemented this are Canada and England, the United Kingdom, to be specific, as well as Europeans entering the United States of America. These all have different names like ESTA, ETA. There's one rolling out in Europe for people traveling to Europe, which will roll out towards the end of this year or in 2027. Truthfully, it keeps getting postponed, so there is no exact date. That will be called the ETAs. And this is a preliminary screening and safety measure before you enter, and it is all done online. Definitely make sure when you apply for one of these electronic travel authorizations to use the appropriate government sites. There are so many scams out there. There are a lot of third-party websites that will do the job for you. They will apply for your electronic travel authorization, but they will charge you a hefty fee. Please make sure that you are on an official site, government site, for the specific electronic travel authorization that you may need. You definitely do not want to overpay. They do not cost a lot of money. Some are as cheap as $7. They should not be any more than roughly $30. It is all done online. It is a very quick and simple process. Many of them actually, once you are approved, will be valid for a few years. I believe the UK one is valid for 2 years, and the Canadian one is valid for 5 years. So that makes the cost a little bit more bearable. I want to add one more thing. If you are reading online on chat boards, Facebook groups, please go ahead and read about other people's experiences, but do not take all the advice to heart. You can learn a lot from these groups, but at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you know exactly what you need to do according to the official sites online for each country, each destination, according to your passport and your citizenship, your nationality. That's very important. Another thing to take into consideration and do your research on is the validity of your passport for your travel. A lot of countries will say that your passport has to be valid for at least 6 months after your departure date from the country. There are some countries, depending on your citizenship, your passport, that may say it only has to be valid for 3 months. Some even say that it only has to be valid for the duration of your trip. The 6-month rule is definitely one to keep in mind, just in case. That way your bases are covered should there be an emergency and you have to stay longer in that country. But definitely do your research, because I have found, for instance, with my German passport, I was able to travel to the UK when my passport only had 2 months left of validity, because for my passport and my nationality, I was allowed to visit, as long as my passport was valid for the duration of my trip. Before telling you a little bit about our visa experience, I would just like to clarify that everyone's experience will be different depending on what kind of visa they're applying for, in what country they're applying, and what citizenship they have, what country they are visiting. So, let me tell you a little bit about our US visa application experience. We applied online. It was a very simple process. I will be honest, I had a little help from a special friend of mine, but there were forms to fill out, pictures to be sent in, and then we got an interview date. There was a short list of documents to be brought with us, and in our case, they did not ask to see many of them, but like I say, every case differs, so it is always important to have everything as much as possible documentation-wise with you, just in case. There is a fee attached to each visa, which was roughly a little less than $200. You also need a prepaid envelope to ship it back to your destination. Now, a lot of places you can pick it up yourself. Unfortunately, we live on a different island from where we applied, so we need it sent back to us by DHL or FedEx. And the visa interview was pretty standard and straightforward. They checked our information online. They asked us a few questions about reasons why we would like to visit the United States of America. Have we ever applied for a visa? What was the longest stay we've had in the United States? And we were there less than probably 20 minutes in total for 4 of us together. So it did not take very long at all. We were approved, thankfully. I am so excited that we all were approved. And in roughly 1 week to 10 days, possibly, we will have our new visas. So that's very exciting news. And that will enable us to travel to the United States for shopping or traveling onto other countries, which is what we use it for mainly nowadays, to travel to Europe. Usually the visas are about 5 to 10 years validity, so it's not something that you have to do very often. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep traveling the Savvy Sammy way. Bye. Bye from Atlantis.